Hey everybody, Game Master here, aka True Old GM. Alright, so in this video we're going to bring a lot of things together that we were talking about before. How to basically script out these events, or not script, but create events for, enemies or just people to interact with, and how you can have the battle and the screen and various skills in those. If this is the first video you're watching, nothing's gonna make any sense. You're gonna want to go back and watch the sneak video, the battle video, and those are gonna refer you also to earlier videos in order to show you how to do some things. So now that we're getting into it, if you remember when I did the sneak video, there was some sort of a bug that I figured out. Basically, if I got caught by her first, it would fade out and she would be gone. Then I would go over to her, and if I got caught, she got stuck in this endless loop where she kept talking to me and it never faded out. But if I got caught by her first, then she would disappear, and then she would disappear, everything would work fine. What I found out would happen was, so here, when I got caught, it would turn this B switch on and it would go over here, and this was set to control switch D, so it never switched, and this was C, so it never switched anything. It kept turning the found thing off, and when found is basically this would turn found on when she finds him or something like that. So when it turned found off, it would go back to this, and then it would find him and it would go back to this. So it was basically going back and forth between these two things. The reason I bring that up is because it's important to remember, if you're going to do things like this, then it's you want to make sure that your script or that your events are written, because basically what I'm saying is, if this is done wrong, then it can have an effect on this one and all the other enemies or people that you're creating events for. Now, as you remember, I am creating switches for each enemy. So here's something that when he steps on this, it turns on enemy 1, and it starts those attack timers that we talked about in the battles to 10. This is the exact same thing, to make it so no matter where he goes, it turns enemy 1 on, and when enemy 1 switches on, it does nothing. And then down here, if you step on these, it turns enemy 2 on and enemy 1 off. I should probably actually make it this, so this one would turn enemy 2 on, but I'm assuming for now that they're not going to go back and step over those. So it turns enemy 1 off and turns enemy 2 on, and then if enemy 2 switches on, then it does nothing, and these ones once again will do something if you step on them. And then these right here, if you step on these, if enemy 2 is off, then if enemy 1 is on, it'll do nothing. If enemy 2 is off, if enemy 1 is off, then it'll turn enemy 2 off and turn enemy 1 on. So basically what this allows you to do is, if you don't do anything with him and you go over here, you're like, you know what, I'm going to go back and do something with him, then it'll allow you to go back and forth. And this is going to be a tutorial screen, so the idea is you're going to need to get into this fort. You can try to charm your way past him or intimidate. You can sneak your way past him. This is going to be a skilled event where you can rig these to explode. I'm going to do the same thing here with lockpick, and so this is going to be showing you how to bring these all together. So as far as these switches go, I think this is the easiest way to do it. You could basically, if you wanted to avoid this kind of thing, because the one disadvantage is you're not going to be able to interact with more than one of these guys at once. So if you get caught by this guy, and if you get here, he's going to leave you alone. If you want to make it more realistic, essentially what you're going to want to do is all these common events that allow you to interact with the enemy, you're going to need to create a different one and all the variables that go with it. So you'll have, like, in order to have it interact with 2 at once, you're going to have like 38 common events, etc., which would create more realism. But even then, you're going to want to have switches, so it switches off, like if you have 5 of those or something, switches on like those 5 in that area, so you don't have to create like something for every single enemy in the game. So yeah, so going through this, because I'm not starting on this tutorial screen where I actually pick my character, and what he looks like and stuff. So it just has this, this default guy that normally wouldn't show up. I have this event, which, you know, would him off transparent so you don't see him, but it's going to set all his parameters for me as if I had gone through that. It's going to give him an item that's a fuse so he can mess with this thing and explode it if he wants to, and then it's going to give him the choice of what type of weapon he wants to use depending on how you set, you know, now depending on how you set your skills, is what type of weapon you want. And I think I'll keep this one, and when I actually get to the game, and remove this, and it sets the weapon type and the damage modifier, and then it, you know, switches it to this screen where basically and you're going to want to have this in any area. If HP is less than or equal to 0, it's game over. Let's see. Oh, and something you're going to want to do is make it so that your an event so that your max HP of the character is equal. So change HP of the, or I think there's change max HP, but basically you're going to want to make it so the max HP of the character is equal to your HP variable. That way when he's in his menu, it doesn't show up as just having 1 HP, like, because this is your HP variable, if you remember. And then so I have it set here. So this is my event to create my sneak skill to allow him to move slower and sneak, and this is something you're going to want to have in every area. And then these basically turns the switch talk on, and probably have it here so that if change this, so if you go back here it turns talk off, so you can change what you do. But basically if talk is on, actually no, so it starts off he does nothing, and then once enemy 1 is on, then it sets all his parameters, and you're going to want to have this for each event, like, so it sets all their parameters once the switch is on, and all these are parallel events, and then it changes the self switch to A, and it's going to do the common event battle. And remember, if that hit switch is on, then it's going to have him fight back. If enemy 1 is on and talk is on, it's going to give you the options of talking to him, and there's like a switch where, like, you can try to intimidate him and says I'm gonna kill you, and if it fails then it turns fight on and he'll attack you. So that's if talk is on and enemy 1 is on. If fight is on and enemy 1 is on, then if talk is on, it's going to turn talk to off. So you're not going to be able to talk to him once you fight him. But you'll still probably want to make it so if you turn talk off, then you go, or talk on, if you step back, then it'll have talk off, just in case you want to be able to talk to some other player back here. So if enemy 1, and then if enemy HP is less than or equal to 0, it turns self switch B to on, which turns enemy 1 off, turns fight off, turns hit off. So it turns all those switches off, and then turns the C on, and it makes him disappear. So let me go through these again, just so you can like pause them and look through them. So this is where it starts off at. When enemy switch 1 is on, it sets all his parameters, and it turns enemy the self switch A on, which basically allows you to. Now keep in mind that I haven't really figured this out. So if you have a melee weapon and talk is on, it's not going to allow you to hit it, because, well, it's just because I'm using the same button for hit as talk, so maybe you can use a different button for hit, and it'll allow you to do something. But this is also the talk skill. If talk is on, it's an action button thing. So I haven't really figured out how to make it so if you're in melee range, you're going to be able to use melee weapons until you actually pick a fight with him. But this allows you to, if you have a gun, you can shoot him from the distance. And this right here just makes it so you have a gun, you can shoot him from the distance. But what you get here, talk is on, and you can talk to him. Then, yeah, so, and these are my choices to talk to him. This is if fight switch goes on, it'll do the battle, change talk to off. And if the HP goes below 0, it turns all these switches to off and then makes it so he's not there anymore. So then you can go down to here and it switches enemy 1 on, so he'll start looking for you. Here, same thing, he'll start here. Now, since I'm not making it so you can talk to him, this sets all his parameters. It's just going to go to common event search. So he's going to be looking for you. He's not looking for you. He doesn't care. He's just standing guard there. And common event battle. So if you want to shoot him from a distance or go up and whack him one, and if a hit is on, he'll fight back. And if enemy 2 is on and found is on, he's just going to come up to you and, you're going to set the polar distance. And if he's next to you, he's going to be, you can't be here. And then I'm going to also add it in. So once he says that, it's going to fade out the screen and like transport you to right here, so to speak. So in order to get past him, you're going to need to sneak past him or kill him. And so he's not fully scripted out to do all that like he is, but yeah, that's how you interact with 2 different people. And this down here, it's going to give you the choice to rig it to explode. And if you choose to have it rigged to explode, it'll go to this common event I created, common event, rig explosives, and it'll only do it if the party has a fuse. Then it'll go through the random roll, and if it's less than 100, it's just going to explode on you because you suck and you set off a bomb and you explode yourself. If you succeed, it's going to take away that fuse. Actually, I should probably put that right there as well. It's going to start the timer, so you have 10 seconds to get away from it. And there's a switch that's explode. And if once explode is on, then it's going to make, this event have an explode animation, turns explode off, so you can do it with a different event. And then basically, so this is, you have to, instead of using these right here, you have to make this image go into the tile set, so it kind of limits you to have things overlapping. But that's if you want to make it so it disappears after it explodes, basically. Not sure why I even have this, that probably can go. But yeah, so that is basically kind of sums up how you can make it so things interact with other things. So I'm going to go ahead. What I'm going to do is I've already shown you how to sneak. So let me play test this here. Save changes. Yes. Game. I'm going to choose revolver just for fun. I'm going to try talking to him. May I pass? You may not. And if I had succeeded, he would have disappeared. I'll say, then we will fight. And he's, now trained to look at me. He should have a gun, so I should start taking damage. Oh, and then he misses. So I'm going to start fighting him. Press the button. Oh, see, there he hit me. So I'm going to, run away because I don't want to fight him. Turns this off. Rig these to explode. And I failed, so it exploded in my face. And there's obviously a bug right here that I need to fix too. So my scripting isn't perfect at this point because I haven't finished it. So there's going to be bugs, but you get the point. And that is basically summing up how you get these things to all interact with each other. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe. And this isn't going to be the end of what I'm doing here. I'm going to probably try to figure out how to, add status effects on the screen. Also, what I really want to do is figure out how on the map I can create a random a random enemy. So maybe I'll have like enemy switch such and such, like, you know, around this whole area, and if he walks into that area, then it'll turn enemy switch such and such on, and it'll create like a random number, and if it gets in between so random number, then it'll make like an enemy appear. So I'm going to try to get some of that done, and you know, when I figure out more things of how I want to do this, you know, Western style RPG, we'll get into that. So thanks for watching. Oh, you know what? Let's do this where it goes through the entire thing. So we'll start him here and save changes. New game. So I'm gonna make a man. I'm gonna make him, let's say, Asian. We'll call him man 2. Accept. Let's make everything normal. Accept. And then I'm just going to put like everything on artillery. So as you can see, he shows up here. Now, I still had that parameter, so it just undid everything I did there. And then he's like, blah, da, 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 da. You know, and then he has the event. So yeah, that's putting, oh, what the hell? That's putting it all together. So yeah, like, subscribe, let me know what you think, and see you next time.